What's up, guys? Charlie Q here. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about one of my favorite films, probably ever. Speed, from 1994. Now, this video is actually part one of a little retrospective series I'm doing on some of my favorite Jan de Bont films. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. Jan de Bont was born in the Netherlands to a Roman Catholic Dutch family on the 22nd of October, 1943. He's always had a creative mind and a good mentality for camera techniques, and soon got into film as a popular cinematographer. He worked on a huge number of films before finding himself on the production of film Speed from 1994. Which became his first as a director. The film was a success and took him onto the next set for Twister, 1996. This is another one of my favorites, and we will be covering it fairly soon. Which he also directed. But then Speed returned with the wonderful Speed 2 Cruise Control in 1997. And I guess that brings us to here. Speed is one of the very few action movies that has received the credit that it deserved. Nearly 30 years old, and still better than nearly every other action film that is made this century. The 1990s, the Thai era for action films, before CGI ruined the genre when Hollywood was still making movies with craft. Everything in this film works. The plot is tightly structured. The script is solid, and production values are excellent. Cinematography, editing, music are all excellent. The interplay between the characters weaves its way through the story, and the casting is spot on. All Jan de Bont had to do was not mess it up. His direction on this film was superb, maintaining tension throughout. Sadly, we had to wait a few more years until we could get a follow-up to this film. This movie is outrageously entertaining. Speed is the epitome of a well-crafted Hollywood crowd-pleaser. Speed is an excellently crafted action film. When you've got a concept as simple yet as genius as this, firm-handed direction, and a cast that is all giving their best, it's hard to deny the results. Suspension of disbelief is required on occasion, but don't let that be a deal breaker for one of the best action movies of the 90s. Now, although Speed takes a while to get to the main conflict of the story, this conflict seems right out of a Die Hard movie. If you like action movies like Die Hard, chances are you'll love Speed. I mean, is this movie absolutely preposterous? You're damn right it is. You might absolutely love it. The character portrayals and the insanity of the movie is what makes it all a classic to me. I mean, this was one of the best I've ever seen. This was one that I've seen a couple times before and always felt it was a pretty good movie. My opinion has stayed the same over the years. Just a great, suspenseful action movie. And that's really worth a watch. Great cast as well. But look, action movies doesn't get better than this. It's an edge-of-your-seat thrill ride like you've never seen before. The story is original, and the action is intense. It has humor. It has action. It has explosions, and Dennis Hopper just steals the show as a deliciously villainous bad guy. Even has a bit of romance. So what else do you need? The movie is thoroughly entertaining, and I would recommend it to anyone who loves action movies. Some critics praise this to the skies, while others point out holes in the story. I did happen to see this at the Chicago Cultural Center with my late aunt years ago. And the movie was purposely designed to rush quickly through to, keep the audience excited. It's meant to be a thrill ride, not to be something people discuss for hours afterward. There are plot holes, but they're not huge ones. The bus is rather quickly sent from middle traffic to a roadway under construction with no traffic. And the gold watch as the bomb does provide a clue to the bomber's identity. But the movie works by the fact that it never drags in any section. Even a popcorn movie works if it's done properly. Keanu Reeves breaking the glass on the bus door at the beginning of the movie was an accident. However, it was left in the final cut. I mean, that goes to show what kind of a director Jan de Bont is. What kind of ideas come to his head just from even the accidents on set. A Fox producer realized they might have a hit movie on their hands when he noticed that during test screenings, audience members would walk backwards when they needed to go to the bathroom, so they would miss out on a little piece. And Sandra Bullock actually learned how to drive a bus for the film, passing her test on the first attempt. And I know, the bus jump scene was done twice, as the bus landed too smoothly the first time. The bridge was actually there, but erased digitally. And I know the film literally ran out of money before it was completed. When the film was first previewed for an audience, the subway scenes were animated storyboards. The audience loved them so much the studio came up with the funds to shoot the scenes properly. And that really does demonstrate Jan de Bont's genius. When it came to the story he wanted to tell, he knew he didn't need all the crazy effects. He could just put the storyboards in, and people would go crazy for it. And he was right. I know I did. Jan de Bont even cast Dennis Hopper because he didn't want a typical villain. He wanted Pine to be a regular guy who just snapped one day. Keanu Reeves even did approximately 90% of his own stunts. 20th Century Fox executives weren't convinced that Keanu Reeves had enough star clout to front the film, insisting a big-name actress should star alongside him. Jan de Bont refused. Fox relented to his casting of Sandra Bullock, with Reeves only 2 weeks before shooting began. Speed definitely features some of the greatest action I have ever seen in a film. The suspense is insane. It's such an edge-of-your-seat film. Even before we get to the fun stuff with the bus, there's a whole sequence at the beginning of Keanu Reeves and Dumb and Dumber, and they're on the SWAT team. So this sets up what Keanu does later to work together as a team to stop this bus. I've seen Speed probably more than Star Wars or even any Marvel film. It's that good. And if you're ever bored one day, or even if you're not, and you just want to watch a really great action film, Jan de Bont has a full library of amazing films for you. Speed, Twister, Speed 2, Cruise Control, and so many more. Please, I insist you go check this guy out. He's severely underrated, and he makes some of the greatest movies I think I will ever see. The bus that couldn't slow down. Look, it's not Shakespeare. It's 90s cheese at its tastiest. And that's awesome. Thank you so much for watching, guys. It has been me, Charlie Q, and I'm so happy I finally get to record on this microphone again. I've just been away for a little while, so that's why maybe the audio will sound a little different from my previous videos, but it's so great to be home, and thank you so much, guys. It It means a lot, your support on the channel. So like, comment, subscribe for more videos. Thank you guys. See you around. I won't speak loud, but I have to think that being somewhere where I didn't know it could take me. When the future seems kind of grim, don't turn away, don't run, but face forward. Death. And it will bring you closer to your soul. And don't let the artist die.
It's time to pay the piper.